So I have something absolutely to post. Is that all good? Yeah, it's looking fine. CP 7%, 5000 kbps. Cool. So yeah, I guess we'll just flick through a couple charts, and then it might be a little bit of a short one today. I feel a bit. I'm struggling with this time zone. Um, so yeah, Bitcoin absolutely no change. We're still on the combination band. We're still on support. Nothing new to say from yesterday. Closes underneath 93.5 start to change this. Even to be honest, 93, 94, 93.8. But yeah, 93.5 is the big one, obviously on the early open. It does look a bit rough just because of these 2 4 hours here, uh, these ones, and then this one is currently underneath. So yeah, it's looking like it wants to roll over, but definitely not there yet, and still on support. Um, yeah, not really anything to say on Bitcoin. Actually, we will just quickly say that there's a chance that if we do get that close on underneath 94 or the yearly open, that we start running something like 87, 86 and do like the full retrace of this whole move up, and possibly even retest some really nasty stuff down here. Just because if we do break that and then bearishly retest it, the amount of longs that are going to accumulate in the sort of down move, and it could even take quite a while, is going to be quite a lot. So we could even, like mess around and do something nasty in here. But obviously not there yet, and it's still looking relatively quite bullish. But yeah. Anyway, I do know that there's a lot of liquidity around 86, which I haven't checked right now, but yeah, I don't think we really need to. ETH still looking kind of terrible actually. Uh, I really don't like this price action, and I'm not interested in this whatsoever in terms of an alt. I think there's a lot. There's a few other alts that look way more interesting that I'm just going to talk about in a sec. So um, yeah, like on support, it's just I just not really. I'm just not really interested in that. The the way I'll be interested in ETH is if we get back down to 1.6k. Now, if we come back down to 1.6k, like I was saying on the weekly, uh, it will just be a weekly retest, and I'll probably long that in terms of the weekly sort of chart. And we also have some overlapping supply, fair value gap, all that sort of jazz down there, and yeah, I'm just not interested in ETH at the moment. If we start breaking down, for example, we get a close below, let's call it 1760-ish, and then we come up and bearishly retest the Q2 in between Q2 and May, then fine, we could short that, but yeah, I don't really give a shit about ETH at the moment. Solana, yeah, I just was saying Solana and Sui look a little bit bearish on the 4 hour in the altcoin chat yesterday after my stream, and yeah, we actually got the retest of all these levels. We got May, we got March, previous weekly open, Q3, daily, all that sort of jazz. Currently on the weekly open, I don't think this is going to hold. Um, Even though we do have some divergences down here, it just doesn't look like it's going to hold. But I still think Sol is in a very good position, and I am quite bullish on Sol, possibly even holding 135. So yeah, lose weekly, bearish retest, you can short that. If you're short from 146, 147, then uh, legendary already. Legendary already. Yeah, but like I said, I'm not really expecting a whole lot until FOMC, which is tomorrow, which I didn't even know on Monday that it was happening this week until I think Viking said it or someone said it in the chat. Um, I don't really want to look look at Pepe. So Popcat is actually holding up really well compared to other things. Uh, like I said, still look at the short in between June and May, but it doesn't really look like we're going to get that at the moment. Um, in terms of a lower time frame trade, maybe this is still in a 15-minute uptrend, so I'm not looking to short this just at the moment. Uh, that's already been tested. If we break that low, yeah, I don't really like it at the moment. Popcat, you can obviously go and scalp that out in 3 minutes or something like that. But in terms of actually taking a swimming position on it, I'm not that interested at the moment. There is a lot of support though, as you can see on this hourly chart and probably on the 4 hour as well. There's probably some combination bands in this sort of like weekly open area. Yeah, it's just it's a bit wishy-washy. Hype is, yeah, we just talked about this very briefly before I turned on the recording. Looking like it wants to break down, but obviously has the potential to still regain on the 4 hour. I still think this looks really good though, in terms of this has probably been one of the most strongest altcoins out there. And yeah, just looking to sell my trade in between, the yearly open in February. If we come back down into like $17, it will just be a chance to accumulate more. Now, something that's looking interesting is Sui. So the 4 hours broken down. We've made a new low. Well, we've made a local low, local breakdowns, and we've also done the retest of May and December that I was talking about. We're currently on the weekly open. You could see a short-term bounce here. I don't think this is going to hold. I think this is going to come down a little bit. We were talking about sort of $3 to 280 yesterday, 288 or whatever it was, and yeah, I think we're gonna get that quite soon on Sui. But again, another strong coin, and also in an uptrend, just needs a little healthy retrace. Nothing too crazy. Obviously, if we go and do 86k on Bitcoin, which is very possible and would still be bullish, we could probably see, back to 230. But yeah, we could also just hold something like 90k, 91k Bitcoin, and that would coincide with just retesting this swing around like 290. But not looking too bad at all. Again, another one that's looking. I actually haven't had a look at this. Let me just check the chat and make sure everything's fine. Yeah, no one said anything, so everything is fine. FET's still actually holding on relatively well. This swing's also untested in between sort of like 6-1 and 6-3. So not looking too bad. This high from the 26th of March at 5.8 has been tested. So this actually looks pretty strong, but I don't really want to long or short this at the moment. It's kind of just not showing any sort of direction to long one, this sweet spot on this. I also don't really feel like longing it just because I think the altcoin market looks slightly weak at the moment. So yeah, again, not really anything to say on it, but I do think FET, Tau, Render, stuff like that, the AI coins that have held quite well and have also been quite fast out of the gates are holding a lot of interest for me. So if we do get like a sliding market pullback, I will be looking at those to potentially accumulate a nice little position on them. But yeah, um, I'll be happy to swing that at 6-1. I'm not adverse to the idea. Tau looks relatively good. Um, it's kind of just going sideways. We do have very, very local breakdowns on the 4 hour, so a low. A low around here. This is lagging so much. Jesus Christ. I hope the stream's okay. An equal high here. Again, not really showing too much of a position, actually. Uh, I guess the weekly open is something that you could long, especially if it kind of wicks into this double demand area. But yeah, I'm kind of gonna just wait for a little bit more clarity on this if I were to take any leverage trade. I mean, my spot bag's looking fine, so and yeah, it's overdue a pullback. We've got loads of levels on the daily to retest. I think if this were to come back down towards 270, I think that would be quite nice to long or potentially reaccumulate or accumulate more. Not even reaccumulate, accumulate more. So yeah, watch out for 270, 280 on Tau if it were to break down and we do get a little slide in the market. What is next? We'll take that off. Injective has quite an interesting chart actually. So I don't mind this chart, and the reason why is because I've marked out this support area, which we have tested twice, so possibly getting a little bit weaker, but we are kind of bull divving on the hourly and the full hour. So like here and here. And the 4 hour is potentially going to bull div again. If I just zoom in. With all this lag, it's actually very difficult. So potentially going to bull div on the 4 hour as well. Something like that. So it is looking mildly interesting to me for a potential long. However, the band is still arcing down, and this one's now coming down as well. So yeah, I'm not actually feeling that too much at the moment. We've also lost the weekly open. Yeah, it's not for me at the moment. However, if we do have a look, I'll just delete that, and we'll also take the bands off and just delete the brushes. It still does look quite nice on the daily, especially if we were to retest something like Q2 and hold that. This block in here is what I would want to see held. I think that could potentially go a little bit higher. There's also something there. I should stop drawing with the brush and just put. I also quite like that as a potential retest, which actually kind of has been retested on this candle, but yeah, I don't really mind. I quite like the structure of injective, especially if it were to hold in between this, basically this block from 29th to 29th of March to the 1st or 2nd of April. But yeah, obviously this daily candle was the bearish retest. So Sunday's candle was the breakdown on the daily, because on Saturday we still were at support. Monday was the bearish retest, and now we're coming back down, just pretty much coming down. Very, very clear bearish retest there. So no, I'm not going to long that. I was just potentially looking at it to hold the weekly open. But yeah, not a whole lot actually shaping up at the moment. Um, Yeah, a lot of alts are looking quite similar. So, uh, obviously, come out of the have come out of the bottom. A little bit toasted on the momentum and the oscillators, so could do with some very slow, grindy sort of pullback. As long as we can hold structure and hold levels, I think we're looking at more upside in the next couple months. I know obviously May, sell May and walk away has always been a thing, but I would rather I would rather trade the daily price structure, and I feel like it's looking quite decent at the moment. There was one other thing I was looking at, but I can't quite remember. It wasn't Link. No, it wasn't Link. Was it Render? Oh, it was Tier. I think it was Tier, maybe. So Render's actually holding relatively well compared to the rest of the market. Let me just check that the stream's okay. Master back on a fire trade. Yeah, on PAX G must be buy and May and pray. Yeah, that PAX G bot must be absolutely killing it. Absolutely ripping it up. Yeah, so Render's actually holding up pretty well. Obviously, this 4 hour candle is breaking a lot of stuff at the moment. Just some local structure, but we are in this sort of like Stuber pocket. Potentially, I obviously think that the market might slide a little bit more, especially into FOMC, but this is something that I'm looking to definitely maybe accumulate. Not even definitely. What am I talking about? Definitely, maybe, bro. I definitely am looking to accumulate some render on maybe like a 3x cross trade. Uh, I think it's going to do really well. I think the whole Nvidia doing the AI chips in America, I think that's going to drive the narrative a little bit this year. Just generally looks quite good as well, and like the project. And this daily structure, you know what? I might have to delete that. This daily structure also looks quite good. Hold the level, sir, and moon. Last but not least, Tia back in the lows of the lows. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm heavily in this thing. We actually have bearishly retested the weekly open and are losing the daily at the moment as well. So not looking great, but we are bull diving, and we're in the Stuber pocket, and we have the combination band just below. So I'm fairly confident that even if this 4 hour candle closes below, that this has definitely has the potential to regain. And if you do see a 4 hour close above 2.4 or the weekly open on tier, the thing's gonna moon. So yeah, I'm already in. I'm in the underwater trade, so I'm fine to accumulate a little bit more here. And if it goes down, it goes down, and I'll add some more margin. Fine. Been doing that for a while, so well, I haven't, but yeah. All happy days. Last but not least, I don't really have anything else to talk about, to be honest. I am keeping my eyes on deep, potentially. But again, I'm just not really that interested in the altcoin market at the moment. Uh, I just think we're in for a little bit of a sideways down. We've obviously had a really nice move up. Uh, Momentum's a bit exhausted, and I think we just need to hit a stop off for a little bit, cool off, go again soon. But yeah, talk to me, guys. How's everyone doing? I'm having a lot of fun over here in KL. Fine, man, bro. should I go out tonight? And what should I do? So Spencer, who I met at the event, he's put me in contact with some guy that owns a record label or something, or like an event label in KL. So I've tried to message Ray Sue to get me in a event or something, which could potentially be quite interesting. But yeah, all in all, not loads to say today, and I don't really want to waste a lot of your time, so I'm happy to look at anything that you guys want to look at because I'm not gonna wait for the 4 hour close, and or we can just should we do some like when I started streaming I used to basically want to hit as many trades on stream as possible. So we used to just sit on all the shitcoins 3 minute charts. So we could do that for a little bit again. Hmm. Oh damn. Yeah, sushi's breaking down a little bit. I haven't checked Atom, Apt, and Arb in a while. Ooh. Yeah, that's not looking good. Atom holders are not. Atom holders and ETH. Atom and ETH? Sounds like Adam and Eve. Atom and ETH holders are not very happy at the moment. Their shit's just fucking wrecked. I mean, I hold a little bit of ETH, I guess. No, that looks really bad. APT. Still in a downtrend. Yeah, that doesn't look great. We haven't checked H bar in a while. So H bar needs to hold sort of like 15.6 ish. This daily swing. Q2 would be amazing. It's already tested as well. That's looking a bit. Again, not looking great. Gotta shoot. No worries, brother. No worries at all. I guess we'll have a look at AVAX and then maybe call it a day. I just don't really want to force it a lot at the moment. Like I'm in that Bitcoin long because we're at support and I haven't taken a trade in ages. But we're just we're just grinding a little bit lower. We've lost the weekly open and the daily as well, so potentially we could be seeing the slide in the next 4 hour close. Come up, do the bearish retest, and then yeah, see you on the flippers. But I have to preface this with Bitcoin is at support. It still hasn't broken down, and the oscillator is completely reset on the 4 hour. So it's just the altcoin market that is looking a bit wonky. But I'm sure Viking will talk a little bit more about that later. But yeah, I think I think we might just call it there, unless we can do some like really really cheeky 3 minute scalping, which I will just have a look right now, just if we can take any sort of fucking short time frame trade. Maybe a little bounce long, even though we're breaking down, possibly a little bounce long. So Pepe did that retest in the band, bull div. It's just, yeah, it's okay. Again, bearishly retested this, made a new low. Potentially bull diving on the 5 minute though. This is something that you could maybe take a stab at if the risk was fine. What's it gonna net you? 1.5, 2. Nah, it's not. It's not great risk reward. I mean, it would have to go. Not the best. Not the best. Not the best. Not the best. What else have we got? Doge's on its Q2 at the moment. Bull div again in a down. So if you're trying to stop trading against the trend, don't like to lose it and slide down. And we're gonna have FOMC, so market's probably gonna be a little bit spooked by that. Again, I'm not sure if I want to put my hard-earned capital on the line when there's absolutely nothing happening. Pretty much all the action happened on Friday when I left for Dubai over that weekend into Monday, and then that week in Dubai was kind of the consolidation under resistance, and now I've just been since. So like a week ago, then we're almost just or scalping on the lower time frames. But yeah, I might as well sort it at the moment.